All right, my friends, we are going to start lying on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees wide. Option to place a block underneath each knee or thigh for a little bit of support. Walk your hands back and recline all the way down. So bound angle pose. If it's comfortable, rest your hands somewhere on the torso, perhaps the belly, or one hand on the belly, one on the chest. If that's not comfortable, maybe out to the side with palms down for a sense of grounding. Relax the muscles in the face. Soften or close the eyes. Bring your attention onto the feeling of the breath. Start to find a smooth and steady breath in and out of the nose. With every inhale, breathe in through both nostrils. Send the breath down into the chest, the belly, the pelvic bowl. And as you exhale, feel the breath release up and out. Inhale, the breath moves in through both nostrils, filling up the chest, the belly, the pelvic bowl. Exhale, feel the belly gently draw back in towards center as the breath releases up and out. Take a few more breaths like this. Feel a connection of your back body on the ground. And this downward movement of the breath with every inhalation. This downward movement is known as apana vayu. And when apana vayu gets out of balance, all sorts of imbalances can happen. When the energy is moving upward rather than downward, imbalances such as fear, anxiety, trouble sleeping, and all sorts of other physical imbalances can start to arise. So can you use this very simple practice of breathing downward into the pelvic bowl, breathing into the root chakra, Muladhara, grounding the energy, feeling connection with the earth. Take one more deep breath in. As you exhale, use your hands to draw your knees together. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze, maybe a rock left and right. And then reach one arm behind you, roll onto the side of your body, and use your hands to prop yourself up. So we'll meet in a tabletop. You might just move your blocks towards the top of your mat. Stack shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. Let's start with some cat-cows today. As you inhale, arch the spine, draw the heart forward and up. Exhale, reverse, round the spine. Again, inhale, arch, opening the front body. Exhale, round, opening the back body. Take a few more rounds of cat-cows or any other movements that you'd like. Maybe it's more circular movements. Going in both directions. Maybe you start to rock forward and backwards in tabletop, waking up the hips, the pelvis. Maybe getting into the feet, tuck your toes under, rock forward and backwards. So connecting with the feet, our legs and our hips will be a big focus of class. If you want a little wrist stretch, turn your hands out or even back towards your knees. Rock forward and backwards. And while our feet are definitely the foundation of the body in yoga, our hands are oftentimes as well. Come back towards center, turn your hands forward. Walk your hands forward a big 2 to 3 inches ahead of the shoulders. Make sure your hands are shoulder width apart, wrist creases parallel to the top of the mat. Tuck your toes under, press back, downward facing dog. You might start with a little movement, bending one knee and then the other. Pedaling out the feet, just waking up the backs of the legs. But then find some stillness. Make sure your feet are hip width apart with your inner heels hidden behind you. If you feel the low back rounding, bend your knees. Ground through the heels. Press into your thumb and index finger. Notice that part of the hand likes to lift up. And then do that as you spin your inner arms forward. Squeeze your outer arms back and in. Relax the head and neck, the eyes, the jaw. Step your feet a little closer to each other. Raise the right leg up. Bend your knee. Open up the hip. Now can you press into your right hand a little more? Are you feeling grounded through all the foundations of the pose, both hands and your left foot? Squeeze the left hip back in space. Straighten the right leg, square off the hips, take an inhale. Exhale, tap your knee to your right upper arm. Get as high as you can. Inhale, send it up and back. Exhale, step your foot to the outside of your right hand. Knee over the ankle. Drop your back knee. If the ground feels far away, bring your hands to blocks. Inhale, sweep your right arm forward, up and back, like you're doing a big backstroke. Turn the right palm up towards the ceiling. Press your shoulder blades into the chest. Take an inhale here. And now tuck your back toes under, straighten the back leg, lift the knee, swim your top arm up and down, and straighten both legs, and hands can of course come to blocks here. Now let's pulse through that. Bend your knees, backstroke, top arm up and back. Exhale, straighten, swim the top arm up and over. Inhale, bend, sweep the top arm up and back. Drop the back knee and pause. You could stay right here or bend the back knee. Reach for the pinky side of your foot. If you have your foot, bring it in towards the outside of the left hip as much as you can. Keep bending the front knee, ground through the right heel. Press your shoulder blades into the chest and then lean your heart back a little bit. One more inhale. Release the foot. Swim your top arm up and down. Tuck the back toes, straighten both legs. Inhale, find a little more length in the spine. Exhale, fold in a little more. Relax the head and neck. Soften shoulders away from ears. As you inhale, rebend the front knee. Exhale, step your left foot forward outside your left hand. Turn your toes out a little bit. Come to your yogi squat, also known as your deep squat, which might be much higher than mine. You also could sit up onto a couple of blocks or a pillow. Make sure your heels are on the ground. Your entire foot is on the ground. Drop your sitting bones, sink the weight into your heels like you're sitting in wet sand, but then lift the pelvic floor. Feel a lift in the belly. Feel a lift in the heart. Take a breath in. Plant your hands, exhale, fold. Parallel your feet about hip bone apart. Bend your knees a lot, let the head drop. Keep a bend in your knees as you roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach your arms out and up at the top. Full breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Samastihiti, equal standing pose. Equal front and back and side to side, and working towards an equal steady mind. Maybe the hardest part of yoga. Arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips, little bend in the knees. Lengthen, reach the chest forward. Plant your hands, step the left leg back. Right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward, plank pose. Drop to your knees, point your toes, child's pose. Ground the hips towards the heels without forcing it. Forehead is on the ground, your hands or a block. Relax the head. Take an inhale, breathe into the pelvic floor. Stay to exhale. Now walk your hands as far forward as you can in your child's pose. Keeping your hands exactly where they are, lift your hips high off your heels. Come to a long tabletop, knees behind the hips, reach the chest forward. Direct the tailbone to the heels. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, lower pelvis first, then belly, then chest. Reach your arms back, palms down. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift the head, the chest, the shoulders. Keep your feet down, press into every toenail, but lift the kneecaps so the quads are engaged. Ground through your feet with every exhale. Lift the chest with every inhale. Roll the shoulders away from the floor. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Slide the hands by the low ribs. Press up onto hands and knees, tabletop. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Step your feet a little closer to each other in down dog. Raise your left leg up. Bend the knee, open up the hip. So can you press into the left hand a little more? Can you wrap the right hip back towards the left heel? Straighten the legs, square off the hips, take an inhale. Exhale, bring your knee towards your left upper arm as high as you can. Inhale, send it up and back. Exhale, step your foot to the outside of your left hand, get the knee over the ankle, drop the back knee. Hands might come to blocks here, you decide what the body needs. Swim your left arm forward, up, and back. Big backstroke. Turn the palm up, press the shoulder blades into the chest. And now from here, tuck your back toes, lift the back knee, take an inhale. Exhale, swim your top arm up and down and straighten both the legs, and maybe you decide, now I need blocks for my hands. Let's do that again. Inhale, bend both knees, swim your top arm up and back. Exhale, straighten. Move with the breath. Last time, inhale, bend both knees, backstroke, top arm up and back, and stay. Option to stay here, or bend the back knee, reach for the outside of the feet or ankle. Keep bending your knee, your front knee, ground through the left heel. If you have your foot, bring it to the outside of the right hip. Lean your chest away from your left knee. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Last breath in. Release your foot, sweep your top arm up and down. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, straighten both legs. Long and a wide pyramid pose. So a wider foundation means feeling a little more balanced. A wider foundation can also feel a little more spacious for the low back. Breathe into the back body. One more inhale. Exhale, rebend the front knee, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Toes out, heels in a bit. Bend your knees. Find that deep yogi squat. So it doesn't matter how high or low your squat is, but you want your entire foot down so you're not on your tippy toes. Bring your hands to heart center. Sink your heels into the earth. And from that rootedness, now can you feel more space through the upper body? Feel a lift in the pelvic floor, the belly, the chest. Take a deep breath in. Plant your hands, exhale, fold. Turn your toes forward. Feet about hip bone apart, bend the knees, and keep your knees bent as you roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach the arms to the sky at the top, full breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips, maybe a little bend in the knees. Inhale, chest forward, slide the shoulders back. Plant your hands, step the right leg back, left leg back, downward facing. Inhale, rock forward, plank pose. Drop to your knees, point your toes, child's pose. Inhale, breathe into the pelvis. Stay to exhale, feel the hips melt back towards the heels, any amount more, but never forcing. Walk your hands as far forward as you can in child's pose, so your arms are straight, hands are shoulder width apart. Lift the hips high off the heels, round through a cat pose into this long line from the crown of your head to your knees. Tip the pelvis backwards to find that lift in the belly. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Lower, slowly, pelvis first, then belly, then chest. Sweep the arms back. Press down through your feet. Inhale, peel the head, the chest, the shoulders off the mat. Drop the gaze down slightly so the back of the neck is long. Roll the shoulders back. Try pressing into your pinky toes a little more. As you spin the inner thighs up, can you lengthen the tailbone to the heels, lengthening the low back. Last breath in. Exhale, release. Slide your hands by your low ribs, tuck your toes, move through tabletop, or in one straight line, press up to plank, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, gentle breath out. Inhale, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk to the top of the mat. Reach your chest forward at the top. Exhale, fold. Come all the way to stand, raise your arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. If you'd like to set an intention for class, do so now. My suggestion might be May I be grounded. May I feel safe in my body. May I be at ease. May I feel whole. What does your body need today? And when you quiet the thoughts and listen inwardly, the answer will come. Rest your arms by your sides. Come to mountain pose, Tadasana. Feet can be together with a little space between your heels, maybe like a little wider stance today. Feet hip bone apart. Notice how a wider stance might feel more stable in the body. Press down through your feet. Reach the crown of your head up. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale, chest forward. Hands are either on ankles, shins, or the floor. Plant your hands beside your feet, not in front of them. Step your left leg back. Right leg back, plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Reach the heart forward. Push the heels back. Exhale, lower in one straight line. Keep pulling the chest forward as you push the heels back. Point your toes. Make sure elbows are over your wrist. Press down through your feet. Your choice, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Lift your thighs in up dog. Take a deep breath in. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Inhale here. Stay to exhale. Come back to your foundation. Hands are shoulder width apart. Wrist creases parallel to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart and parallel. So if you're feeling ungrounded, scattered, anxious, then don't jump ahead in the poses. Be here now. Focus on your hands, your feet connecting into the earth. Feel that stability. Press into your thumb and index finger. Spin the inner arms forward, wrap the outer arms in. One more inhale, lift the heels. End of your exhale, walk your feet to your hands. At the top, reach the chest forward, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, raise the arms, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, arms by your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, raise the arms towards the sky. Exhale, fold towards the earth. Inhale, heart forward. Plant your hands beside your feet, step the right leg back. Left leg back, plank pose. Always option to do a plank with your knees down. Lift the pubic bone up towards the navel. Lengthen the tailbone to the heels. Deep breath and be steady. I know it's hard to hold plank. How slowly can you lower to the belly? Take your time. Point your toes. Elbows over the wrist, not ahead of them. Your choice, baby cobra or upward facing. Take what the body needs. Maybe you need to stay closer to the earth today. Exhale, downward facing dog. Few breaths here. So an advanced yoga practice is not doing the biggest back bend, not being able to stand on your hands or head. An advanced yoga practice is one in which we can truly start to quiet the thoughts down, listen inwardly, and honor what the body actually needs in this moment. Not what we needed yesterday, not what we need tomorrow, but be here now. What do we need now? Take one more inhale. Come high on your toes. Exhale, feet to your hands. Reach the chest forward at the top. Exhale, fold. Come all the way to stand, raise your arms. And exhale, arms by your sides. So we'll do one more Vinyasa. Option to step to plank, lower down. Option to hop to bent elbows, Chaturanga. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, heart forward. Plant your hands beside your feet, either step to plank or hop to bent elbows. Come through your Vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. All right, my friends, from down dog, raise the right leg up. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest and step through. Get your toes in line with your fingers. Spin the back heel down. Make sure your front heel is in line with the back arch. Climb the right forearm on the thigh. Sweep your left arm forward. Upper arm by your left ear. And then reach it up, reach it back, down, draw a big circle, and do it again. Forward, up, back, down. Now reach your top arm forward and pause. Pinky faces down, feel the tricep wrap in. Make sure your right knee's over the ankle, in line with the second toe. Firm your right hip in and under towards the wall you're facing. Straighten the back knee, push the left thigh back. Use your inhales to get longer from the crown of your head to your back heel. Your exhales to twist open a little more. Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Stay for another breath. Get steady through the feet. Reach your top arm up, come all the way to stand. Straighten the front leg. Spread the arms out wide. Engage this left hip in towards the midline. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee deeply. Warrior two. So maybe you take a long stance today. Work towards making your front thigh parallel to the mat. Maybe your stance is a little shorter. That's fine if it feels more steady, but make sure the right knee's over the ankle, over the second toe. Ground through the right heel. Can you lift the front hip off your thigh and firm your left hip in so your pelvis is upright, not dipping to the right. When your pelvis is in alignment, your chest is naturally over the hips. You don't need to adjust it. The crown of the head will be over the chest. Soften your eyes over the right fingers. Keep the bend in the front leg. Flip your front palm. Reverse your warrior, tip up and back. Deep breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step to your plank. Come through your Vinyasa. From your down dog, inhale, raise your left leg up. Exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Step your left foot forward, toes in line with fingers, spin the back heel down. Align your front heel with your back arch. Climb your left forearm on your thigh and sweep your right arm forward, up, back, and down. Draw that big circle again, forward, up, back, down. Let's do that one more time. Forward, up, back, down, forward, and pause. Top arm frames your right ear, pinky faces down, feel a tricep wrap in. Ground through your left heel as you bend the front knee. Make sure your left knee's over your ankle, in line with the second toe. Press into your outer back foot as you straighten the back knee. So notice how when we come through the poses, I always teach from the ground up. We do one thing at a time to ground the energy, to steady the mind when it's feeling a little frazzled. Roll the top ribs back, the bottom ribs forward. Stay for another breath, get planted through your feet. Reach the top arm up, use the strength of your legs, come all the way to stand. Take a breath in, firm the right hip in towards the midline, and exhale, bend your left knee. Warrior two. Ground through your left heel as you bend the front leg. Try to lift the front hip off your thigh. Firm the right hip in towards the midline, so your feet are steady, hips are aligned under the chest. Soften your eyes, steady the breath. Keep the bend in the front leg, flip your front palm, reverse the warrior, tip up and back, full breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step to your plank, come through your Vinyasa or straight to down dog. Take a deep breath in, gentle breath out. Inhale, raise the right leg up. Exhale, bring your knee in towards your nose and step forward. Right knee over the ankle. Spin your back heel down. Line up your front heel with your back arch. Climb the right forearm on your thigh. Sweep your left arm forward. Palm faces in. Take an inhale here. Get longer from the crown of your head to your back heel. Stay to exhale, ground through your feet. Reach your top arm up. Use the strength of your legs, come all the way to stand. Straighten the front leg. Walk your back foot in a little bit. Let's shorten the stance. Keep your back toes slightly angled forward. Lift your knees, your thighs. So working up. Spread the arms out wide. Reach your right arm out and up. Let your hips go back. Bring your right hand flat to something, whether it's a block outside your right foot or flat on your shin. Press into the right big toe mound, that's the front of the foot. Wrap the right hip back towards the left heel and keep rooting down through your outer back foot, straighten the back knee. Get longer from the crown of your head to your hips, longer from top arm to bottom. Your gaze could be down, to the side, up. Do what feels best on the neck. Take another cycle of breath. Use the strength of your legs. Inhale all the way to stand. Warrior 2, bend the front knee, just for a breath. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. Tip up and back. Lower your hands to the mat. Come to the ball of your back foot, a little different this time. Look forward as you breathe in. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Feet about hip bone apart. Bring your hands to your hips, little bend in the knees, come all the way to stand. Now with your hands on your hips, feel that your frontal hip bones are facing forward. Keep that. Shift the weight into your left foot. Pick up your right. Turn the right knee and thigh out to the right. Feel that external rotation in the hips. Then find your tree pose. Could be toes on the ground. Could be foot below the knee. Could be foot above the knee. Just avoid pressing into the knee. Keep your eyes on one spot as I stumble. If your eyes are darting, the body's more likely to move. Press into all four corners of the left foot, especially the big toe mound. Firm the left hip in. With your hands on your hips, notice if those frontal hip bones have rotated to the right. That's what they tend to do. Can you keep them shining forward? Your right knee might come a little more forward at first. Let the knee move back, but without interrupting the hips. Keep your hands at your hips or heart center. Not reaching the arms towards the sky today, but instead grounding through the standing leg. Take another inhale. Stay as you breathe out. Stay a little longer than your mind tells you to. Our minds are all constantly telling us to do more, to move faster, to be busier. And on our yoga mat, it's this opportunity to practice one thing at a time. Bring the right knee into the chest. Bend your standing leg, step the right leg long and back, high lunge. Now you can of course have hands down on blocks or the floor, hands to hips, or reach your arms to the sky. Bend your front knee, feel a lift in the pubic bone. Reach your arms up if you'd like, last breath in. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step to your plank, Vinyasa, or straight to down dog. Take what the body needs. Okay, final side. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Step your left foot forward, front knee over the ankle. Spin the back heel down, line up your front heel with your back arch. Don't rush through these steps. Climb your left forearm on your thigh. Reach your right arm forward. Pinky down. Turn your chest towards the long edge of the mat. Ground through your front heel. Take another inhale. Come all the way to stand. Straighten the front leg. Shorten your foundation. Walk the back foot in a tiny bit. Keep the back toes slightly angled forward. Reach your left arm out and up. Hips go back. Left hand to a block or lightly against the shin, but have your left palm flat on something. Even though our left hand is down, can you keep most of the weight in your feet and your legs? Press into the ball of the left foot. Wrap the left hip back towards the right heel. Push the right thigh back so the back knee doesn't bow forward. And now do you have more freedom in the upper body to twist open? Top ribs back, bottom ribs forward. Last breath here, anchor your feet into the earth. Use the strength of your legs, come all the way up. Warrior 2, bend the front knee for a breath. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior, tip up and back. Exhale, hands to the mat. Come to the ball of your back foot and step your right foot forward. Feet about hip bone apart, hands to your hips, come all the way to stand. Keep your eyes on one spot, a drishti spot. Find something to focus at with soft eyes. Lift your left foot off the ground. Turn your knee and thigh out, but keep your hips forward. Don't interrupt the pelvis. And then find tree pose. Maybe heel to ankle. Maybe foot below the knee. Maybe foot above the knee. So take the variation your body needs. One variation is not better than the other, it's just different. Bring your attention to the right foot. So your foundation is that right foot. Notice if you're falling to the inner side or outer side. Press into all four corners, especially the big toe mound. Lift the inner arch. Firm the right hip in. Keep your hips shining forward. Just the left knee and thigh moves back. Hands can stay at hips or to heart center, but focus on grounding through the earth. Imagine you are standing at a beach in wet sand. Can you ground through the right foot, but keep it relaxed? Relax the toes. Take another breath here. Stay to exhale. Bring the left knee into the chest. Little bend in the standing leg. Step your left leg long and back. If you want hands to blocks or the ground, do so. Hands to hips or reach the arms up. Ground through the right heel as you bend the front knee. Lift the frontal hip bones up towards the frontal ribs. One more inhale here. Exhale, hands to the work. Step to your plank. Nice work. Vinyasa or straight to down dog. Take a deep breath in. Gentle exhale out. Drop to your knees. Point your toes. Grab your bolster or pillow. Place it in front of you. So toes together, knees wide. Slide the bolster or pillow in between your inner thighs. Come to a supported child's pose. You can recline down, resting your arms on whatever is comfortable. Could be forehead down or one cheek. And if the bolster feels far away, you could even place another blanket or pillow over it. And just take a few breaths here. About 10 or so breaths. And we just did quite a bit of standing work, so now feel the connection of the body being closer to the earth. Feel the pelvis tipping backwards, anchoring towards your heels. And breathe into the back body. If you have one ear on your bolster, just turn your gaze to the other side, just to even out the neck. And maybe soften or close the eyes so that there's less outside distractions, giving the eyes a break from taking in so much information. Begin to press into your hands and roll up. All right, so now you'll take your bolster or a pillow or a folded blanket and turn it so it's this wide way. Come to a tabletop with your hands in front of it and your bolster right underneath your hips. Slide the right shin forward. So my right foot and right knee is in front of the bolster. Tuck your left toes under, float the back knee up, and then walk your left foot back. So both your hips you want to feel supported by the bolster or blanket. Point your back toes, recline forward. And now sometimes it can feel nice to take a block this long way, place it under your ribs. If that's not comfortable, don't do it. It can also feel nice to place a block under your forehead or stack your hands under the forehead for a half pigeon pose. And if there's any discomfort in your front knee, please lie on your back. Cross the right ankle past the left knee in a figure 4. And just take a moment to settle in. Make sure there's no pressure in that right knee. Most of the weight is in your hips. And when the hips get tight, or if we've been sitting for a long period of time, they can start to hold tension and lose this circulation of energy. So take just a few more breaths here. Breathing into the hips, sending the breath downward, connecting with the root chakra. The root chakra is associated with the color red, as that's also associated with the color earth. So maybe you visualize red filling up the root chakra. And then start to make your way back up onto your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee, step the right leg back, lower the knees, come back to a tabletop. Maybe just a little swish of the hips left and right. If you're taking a figure 4 on your back, switch to your left side. If you're taking half pigeon, slide the left knee and shin in front of the bolster or blanket. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee. Scooch the right foot back, point your toes so the weight's back in the hips. And then as you're ready, recline down, supporting the body as needed. Each side of your body's a little different. You might need more support, you might need less. We're not perfectly symmetrical. We're just perfect as we are. Soften the shoulders. Once the body feels organized, send the breath downward. And if you have a tendency to breathe higher into the chest or breathe out of the mouth, it's a practice, just like anything else, to breathe in and out of the nose when possible, and to send the breath down into the belly and the pelvic bowl, to feel that apana vayu, that downward movement of energy. Otherwise, things get stuck in the upper part of the body. So circulate the movement, the energy, the breath downward. And then just take a few more breaths here. Last breath in. As you exhale, make your way back up onto your hands and come back to a tabletop. You can move your bolster or pillow or blanket to the side. Come to hands and knees, maybe just wiggle out the hips a little bit, take some cat-cows, whatever feels good. And then from here, cross your ankles, roll over your feet. And we're gonna come to a seated posture. I'm gonna turn to face you. Feel free to face the long edge of your mat, and we'll come to Upavishta Konasana. So legs in this V shape. Doesn't have to be super wide, just a V shape. If it's helpful to sit up onto a block or bolster, of course do so. Bring your hands by your sides. Press into the earth, lift up and out of your legs. Press the shoulder blades into your chest. Keep the lift in your chest, lower your chin. Try to flex your toes towards your face, so they're not turning out or in. Soften the front ribs in if they flare out and feel a lift in the low belly. And now you could stay right here, staying upward, focusing on your sitting bones rooting into the earth. Or if you'd like, walk your hands forward and fold forward any amount. So maybe you stay up onto your hands, keeping the spine long rather than rounding. Maybe you come forward onto the forearms, the elbows, but we want to keep the length in the spine. Root your sitting bones into the earth with your exhales. Lift the torso up and out of your legs as you inhale. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Let the chin lower to the chest to open the back of the neck. Perhaps visualizing the color red as you breathe into the belly and the pelvis. Feeling the belly gently draw back in towards center as you exhale. The last 2 or so breaths. Keep your sitting bones plugging through the different layers of the earth. Walk your hands back in. And then from here, hands under the knees, bend your knees and come to a comfortable seated posture. So you might be sitting up onto a bolster or a block, whatever feels best. But try to find a seat where your hips are above your knees. If your knees are higher, definitely prop yourself up. Could be any comfortable seat for you. Rest your hands on your thighs. Slide your hands back a bit so that your shoulders are in line with your hips. The fronts of the shoulders draw back. If you need to wiggle around a little bit, do so to find that sweet spot on your sitting bones. And then stack your chest over your hips. Lower the chin to the chest, open the back of the neck. Soften or close the eyes. And before we lay down for our final pose, we'll just take about 10 to 20 breaths in this seated posture. Bringing the attention back onto the breath. Breathing down into the belly and the pelvic bowl as you breathe in. Feeling the belly draw back in towards center as you exhale. If you'd like to repeat this mantra, either silently in your head or whispering it, then feel free to repeat after me. May I be grounded. May I be safe. May I be at ease. And again, may I be grounded. May I be safe. May I be at ease. You might visualize yourself as you repeat this mantra. May I be grounded. May I be safe. May I be at ease. And then sending this energy in this mantra out into the world. May we be grounded. May we be safe. May we be at ease. Feeling the breath wash over the entire body. Again, may we be grounded. May we be safe. May we be at ease. How does this mantra feel in the body? How does it feel to send it out into the world? And final time, may we be grounded. May we be safe. May we be at ease. Take a deep breath in through the nose. An open mouth clearing breath. Allow your eyes to flutter open. Come off whatever you're sitting on. And now I will set us up for the final pose that I will be leaving you in for today. So grab your belt. Now if you don't have a belt, you don't have to do this with one. Don't worry about it. And also grab your bolster or your pillow. So you'll place the bolster or pillow or blanket the long way behind you. Sit in front of it with about 1 inch or 2 inches of space between your low back and the bolster. You'll need to make a really big loop with your belt, and then you're going to put it over you, like you're putting a big sweater on. Now just make sure that if you're using a belt, this metal piece isn't really touching your pelvis. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees wide. So I have the belt around my low back, kind of where like an actual belt is or the pant line is. Bring it over, under the feet, and then tighten it as needed. So you can make it however tight you'd like. I'd say this version of Supta Baddha Konasana with the belt, oftentimes you can bring your feet a little closer into your hips because you have the support, but you don't want to feel like you're uncomfortable. And then again, belt not touching your body, it's just annoying. So once the belt is organized, walk your hands back, slowly lower. If you have a puffy bolster like me, you might have to kind of flatten it down. Lay down and then adjust. If you're feeling tenderness in the low back, you might scooch forward a little bit so that less of your spine is on the bolster. Okay, so make it work for you. If it's comfortable, arms out to the side with palms down, or somewhere on the torso, palms down. Let the eyes soften or close. Relax the muscles in the face. Move the bottom teeth away from the top teeth. And just as we began class in this shape, bring the attention onto the breath. Notice any shifts or any changes in the body, in how you feel in this moment. If you set an intention, come back to your intention. And know that whenever you're feeling a little scattered or uneasy, this practice is here for you. And we always have the ability to connect with our root chakra. And the earth, the ground will support you, so can you give your trust in the earth right now, that you can soften and let go. I encourage you to pause this video, stay here for 20 breaths longer, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you have. And that is all, my friends. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.